Chapter 8. She saw a ghost at a coconut plantation. I happened to room with John during one of our pastors' meetings held in Penang in 2006. It was during that time I had interviewed him and obtained all his stories. Below is another story of a woman who worked as a laborer in a coconut estate. Apparently, she was followed by a secret admirer who tried to scare her with a spirit with the help of someone who practiced witchcraft. This incident took place at Simpang Empat, a little village about 15 kilometers away from Talukontan, Perak, Malaysia. The victim of spirit possession was a middle-aged woman known as Esther, who was married and had several adult children. It took place sometime in 1996 when John was working in Talukontan. John came to know Esther's spirit problems through one of her sons named Prakash, who sold used clothes to the poor people in that area, and it was he who had befriended the pastor. Prakash reported to him one day about his mother's problems and invited John to help his mother at his house. Pastor T. John took on the challenge of helping Prakash's mother, and on the appointed day he visited the Prakash family. John administered prayer for her, but there was no success. Then he told the family to fast for a day and come to his church, where a group of believers would pray for the mother. The pastor told them also to confess all their sins and forgive any wrongs others have done to them, and come to church. As agreed, Prakash brought his mother and some of his relatives for the prayer session. At about 6:30 p.m., they gathered together around Esther, the mother of Prakash, and took turns praying for her. They sang songs, read the scripture and prayed. Esther was asked to place her right hand on the Bible and repeat the scripture quoted to her. She did as told. Then suddenly the bad spirit in her attacked her in the midst of the exorcism. She refused to touch the Bible or repeat the verses we told her to recite. Her face turned fierce and her eyes started rolling within their sockets. The background. Here is the background of how Esther was possessed. Esther had worked as a laborer in a coconut estate that was between Simpang Empat and Bagan Dato. One afternoon around 1 while she was working in the estate, she had seen a dark, gruesome figure of a man appeared suddenly in front of her to molest her. This encounter with that ghostly figure derailed her mental composure, and since then she was possessed. Since that encounter, she could not eat or sleep well. She was constantly taunted by the figure of the ghostly man. At times she could not breathe normally. She appeared to be choked by someone at her neck. At other times her stomach would swell very large like that of a pregnant woman. At other times she would speak in tongues that none could understand. Sometimes during these supernatural manifestations of the bad spirits in her, she would faint. It is believed that there was a